Welcome to part 4 of Circle of the Moon. Today we'll be going through the Eternal Corridor and taking on the next boss. Who knows, maybe we'll see Hugh again. The jackass. At the end of the previous part I did somewhat get into why Hugh is the way he is and why he has this chip on his shoulder. And, I mean, I guess you can somewhat excuse it, but at the same time, not really. I mean, let's use this for an example. Let's just say me and this random guy were growing up together. We were like training for a war. And my father chose this random guy over me to be his successor. I would feel some sort of way about it too, but I wouldn't be that jealous. But then again, people internalize resentment and envy and jealousy differently, so... yeah, we'll just chalk it up to Hugh is just an asshole. Anyway... you want to make your way down this tower and watch out for the living gargoyles who drop prison garbs, and they're pretty outdated at this point. I already have the stylish suit. Your flame whip will make short work of pretty much almost everything in here. That and I'm stupidly overpowered for this area, but that will change quickly. The DSS card combination for the fire whip is going to be Salamander and Mercury. Anyway, welcome to the Eternal Corridor. We got Gorgons returning from Symphony of the Night. They're ox-like beasts who are usually armored, but these ones aren't. The Gorgons are slow, just like they were in Symphony, but they breathe out this stone mist that if you get caught in it, you'll get petrified. You also have ectoplasms who debuted in some of the earlier Castlevania games. I think it was either 3 or 4. Anyway, the ectoplasms are more harmless than the Gorgons, but they home in on your location. So you may want to use the Twirl Whip. Too many ghosts! Get these ghosts away from me. Yeah, we got this long-ass hallway of ectoplasmic specters and oxen. Oh, now I want beef. Oh, you leveled up, nice. It's all because I whipped a cow's ass. Okay, there should be another hallway of this. Oh no, it's just skeleton knights. The skeleton knights are boring. They just walk towards you and they slowly swing their swords. I'm not even sure if they can knock you over. The flame demon, though, that's a different story. Come back on screen, I want to destroy you. But the flame demons, they shoot these spread shots. Not really spread shots, but they kind of go across the screen in weird patterns. They're not as dangerous as they look. If you can read the pattern, you can take the flame demons down pretty quickly, even with their big fireball attacks. I didn't even let them show off the fireball attack. Yeah, but there's another hallway, this time with grizzlies. Werebears. Grizzlies come in later, but the werebears are kind of tough. You also got the beast demon. Beast demon not as tough, you just stand next to them and you'll be fine. Getting back to the werebear, they slowly walk towards you, but if you let them claw you, that does a lot of damage. Now for the beast demon, whenever they do that spread shot, just stand next to them and crouch. They'll always miss, guaranteed. Guaranteed or your money back, which means you have to give me your copy of Circle of the Moon and I pay you for it. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. And that is something I do miss from the days of old, is trading your games in or swapping your games with your friends. That's something that's nowhere near as common anymore because more and more games are digital. So say for example, it's the year 2004. I got 007 Everything or Nothing. And a friend of mine has, I don't know, Star Wars Battlefront. I want to play his Star Wars game, meanwhile I want to play his 007 James Bond game. So, what do? We just swap games. Simple as that. And that's because all of our video games back then were physical copies. Nothing else. And that's how I managed to play a lot of video games back in the day. I just asked them if I could borrow their game in exchange for something else for a week. There's also something else I missed from the 2000s too, and they're like, I believe they're called block parties or garage sales or yard sales. And that's how I managed to get a lot of video games on the cheap too. I remember getting this Atari Asteroids collection with like Pong and Asteroids and Centipede and all that stuff for like $1 in a garage sale. Best dollar ever spent for a collection that has like 30 games on it, and each of those games could go for like $1 a piece, which means $30. That is the best $1 I've ever spent. It probably wasn't even $1, it's like 90 cents. So bring back garage sales and yard sales, and just please make older games cheaper, because there's no reason why a Sega Genesis game from like 1991 is still the same price as a newly released Dark Souls game. Hell, it's probably even more expensive than the Dark Souls game. Anyway, Circle of the Moon brings back teleportation rooms. It pretty much works the same way as it did in Symphony of the Night. You just go in through the door and you teleport to another room in the castle. You cannot select where you want to teleport though. You just have to keep teleporting until you get to your desired location. Got a heart max up. You want to get as many hearts as you can during your first run through, especially if you're using the cross as a sub weapon, because the cross takes a lot of ammo. Oh boy, the chapel tower is something fierce. This is where the game starts to show its fangs. The enemies here are rough, especially the flame armors, who may not have the best attack in the world, but they hurt if they do hit you. You also have marionettes and bloody swords who will appear later in the stage, and they are annoying, mainly because the marionette curses you, in which case you cannot attack them, and bloody swords who are small targets, and airborne for that matter, they're hard to hit. You might notice me running away from more threats here because, well, the bloody swords are bloody annoying. That's really the main reason why I'm bolting right now. But yeah, there is a heart increase at the top of this room, and there is a way you can get to it now. Otherwise, you have to wait until way later in the game to get this heart. So what you want to do is kill the first brain float, like so. And then you're going to want to wall jump and hit this brain float right here, so that way the knockback will carry you over to the ledge on the right. And then the rest is just simple wall jumping until you get to the heart. The heart, Osborne! First we attack his heart. And there we go, we don't have to wait until late game where we get the rock wing. The Circle of the Moon does have some instances of sequence breaking, but it's nowhere near as lenient as Symphony of the Night. And Aria of Sorrow. I think Harmony of Dissonance was also strict on sequence breaking, but I have to play that one again, it's been a while. And for those who don't know what sequence breaking is, it's pretty much whenever you're playing a Metroidvania or some sort of collectathon game, there are items placed out of your way to where you need a power-up to get them. But if you use a specific strategy like a damage boost or some sort of flaw in programming, you could theoretically get that item earlier than expected. Super Metroid is still probably the king of breaking the game in half. I mean, there is a speedrunning community for that game for a reason. Anyway, we should be meeting the dreaded marionettes. Oh my god, the marionettes. Oh, and the bloody swords are back. Oh. But you do not want the marionettes to touch you. They will curse you, and that means you cannot attack for anything for a couple of seconds, maybe even a minute or two. And in a game like this, you need to defend yourself at all times. And the bloody swords, they're really just annoying because of how small they are, and just how quickly they are too. They can just zoom in from off screen and hit you from anywhere, but if you know that they're coming, you can just goad them into missing. Wrong way, Nate. Okay, I think up here is going to be where the Thunder Demon is. The Thunder Demon, which we've seen in the last part, or is it 2 parts ago? No, it was the last part. They're pretty easy because their Thunder Strikes are predictable. But if you're lucky, you can get a magic gauntlet out of this whole affair, which I just did. Wow, that's the second Thunder Beast I killed, and already I get a gauntlet. But what the magic gauntlet does is it decreases some of your strength, but it increases some of your intelligence. Now this room right here is a pain in the ass, mainly because of the Panthers. Where Panthers are quick, they can dodge your attack by jumping backwards, and they have a dash. They are probably one of the more lethal enemies at this stage of the game. Oh, looks like we got an arm guard. Now it's going to take off some defense, but it's going to increase strength. And for this point, I'm going to need as much strength as I can get. The strongest welling in my body? I need more strongest. Especially with these damn were-panthers. Come on, take your licks like a man. It looks like we got the Thunderbird card. Okay, so were-panthers, Thunderbird card. Remember that. Wait a minute, Konami missed a perfect opportunity. The card should have been called Thundercat. Because the card belonged to a cat. The Thunderbird card, if you mix it with the Mercury card, will turn your whip into an electric taser. If you press and hold the attack button, Nate will just hold out the whip in a straight line, no longer doing the whip twirl. This attack does have diminishing returns though. The longer you hold it out, the less damage it does over time. Sounds kinda dirty, but we'll just have to stick with it. God damn it! Now if you combine Thunderbird with Jupiter, I think it's one of those card combinations where you get knocked over with each hit, no matter what the enemy is, but you take half the damage. Or your damage gets cut in half, rather. So you'll turn into a ragdoll, but you won't die as quickly, at least. I do like this track that's playing right now. It's called Fate to Despair, which that in and of itself sounds like a Castlevania game that was just never made. So yeah, we got a little bit more left to go before we make it to the boss. And the boss here is kinda hard. Like a lot of bosses in this game, actually. We just have to run through all these bone pillars and heat shades and stuff. And marionettes. My god, the marionettes. No, don't want the axe. The axe is actually kind of nerfed in this game. Even though the axe could be useful for the next boss, I'm not picking it up. Not going there. Dramatic Castlevania pose as I destroy a doll. A living doll, but still. And we got a heart max. Yeah, it's time I run from most of these threats. You don't want to stick around for too long. Especially when I keep getting hit. Now don't worry, there is a save point somewhere around this area. Hopefully. Or maybe I'm just made a liar. I think it's down here. Nope, immovable box. Yep, I'm screwed. Nope, show some fancy footwork, Nate. I believe in you for all of your poor characterization and blandness. Fuck, this game enjoys teasing me. Get out of here. Oh my god, the Panther almost got me on the rebound. Okay, can I jump over this? Barely. Let's go. I'm at the save point. Oh no, get up there. Come on, Nate, you silly goose. Your wall jump may be awkward, but it's not that damn awkward. Oh my god. Now, whenever you do a double jump and then wall jump, you cannot immediately do another double jump. You have to touch the ground again before you can do another double jump, which is awkward, but it prevents the game from being too easy. Hugh! You okay? You, back off. This is my trophy to claim. Oh, my pelvis. Hugh. Just let Hugh lick his wounds like the punk he is and take on this boss, who is the... How do you even pronounce that? Ramulek is how you pronounce it, I think. If I pronounce it wrong, please let me know. But this boss is hard mainly because of his attacks, and also his hitbox is suspended in midair. So you have to jump up to hit him. That is, if you don't get intercepted by skulls and shit. Now, the skulls hurt, but the bubbles don't hurt as much. So, whenever you see the skulls, I recommend just running away from them, and if you have to, just run through the bubbles, though I don't recommend it. The fireball attacks are simple enough, you just have to dodge them, but sometimes there will be patterns where you can't really dodge them. This is where the adjustable jump comes into play and the baby hops I've been talking about in part 1. You tap the jump button and Nate will just hop. You won't do a full jump, and that's extremely useful for these fireball attacks. If this were any other Castlevania game that's not Symphony of the Night or anything after this boss fight would be damn near impossible because of the non-adjustable jump. Well, okay, maybe Super Castlevania 4, but you still can't really control the height of the jump. Okay, maybe I take it back, Super Castlevania 4 you could do something with this type of boss fight, but it will be hard. It would be hard. Oh wait, you do have the multi-directional whip. Never mind, this boss fight would be caked. You see, Super Castlevania 4 just breaks everything. And yeah, I've seen people diss on Super Castlevania 4 because of the multi-directional whip. I find it as a cool exception to the rule. Why not have fun? Why not break the game? Dramatic Castlevania pose as I take out... Wait a minute, why does this boss remind me of Contra 3? The Terminator type enemy from stage 3. Never mind, he's dead. His head fell down the same way as that Terminator boss. Anyway, you want to press this button to destroy all the coffins like that in the castle. You'll also get an MP max up, which is not as useful as a health max up, but I'll take what I can get. I'm right next to a save point. Damn! Who asked you for help? I couldn't just leave you, could I? And for the longest time I thought Hugh just pulled out a gun on Nate, but no, he's pointing. Don't think that you defeated it. It was the power of that whip. Not really, but sure. Hugh? You can never beat me in training. Never once. But Father named you the successor and gave you the Hunter Whip. Your parents and my father banished Dracula together. And those fond memories clouded his judgment. Don't forget that. So salty. See you guys in part 5.